What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Finale podcast. I'm joined today by Carlos and Henry. We're here to talk about the World Cup final happening this Sunday. It's been a really good tournament, month-long tournament that we've all looked forward to. So it's kind of surreal in some ways that it's coming to an end already, but it was a lot of fun just consuming it all for the entire country, and then obviously Mexico and Canada involved in that as well. So excited to have you guys on for this final pod of the World Cup.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate it. I'm
Yeah, thank
excited to
you.
talk about it. Can't believe we're the final two. We remember talking about the whole bracket that we put together, and now we're here in this point. So it's been a fun journey, and I'm excited to cover it.
Yeah. For me, I mean, like I mentioned it, I think the last pod, like I picked Portugal to win this tournament, and that didn't go well at all. Like they didn't look great. They went out round of 16, I think it was. So yeah, it wasn't a good
Correct.
tournament at all for them. Ronaldo, his final tournament. So that was a sour ending. But I know Carlos, you picked Spain. They're obviously in the final. They've looked really good, probably the best team from the eye test so far this tournament. Henry, who did you pick?
It depends. It depends on where, but I do have I did pick Spain in one bracket
Okay,
as well.
in one
So,
bracket.
well, the other one I picked Netherlands, and I just don't want to talk about it. Which is not a very
Yeah,
smart pick,
We'll forget
but
about that
I
one.
tried to be
But
different.
yeah, that's fair. I
Yeah.
mean, we're in the same boat there. But yeah, I mean, like I said, happy to have you guys on for this pod. But Chris, unfortunately, could not make it, but he still was able to give his analysis. So, um, we'll edit that into the pod and we'll cut to that right now.
Listen, I've picked against Argentina the last two times, and it's backfired. But at the same time, if there's kind of a team that they can't pull off their late game magic, second half, they can't attack you mentally. Because I thought against England, Argentina really beat them because they won the mental game. Clearly, from the beginning, they were able to out physical them, control the tempo of the game, the pace of the game. Whether some foul should have been called. I thought out of all the Argentina games, that was the best officiated, if I'm being honest with you. And which, it could go, back and forth. But I thought uh, they were the better team against England, and they proved it and won. Spain, not to toot my own horn, but I did pick them to win. It was not a popular pick, but their their midfield has been impeccable throughout the entire tournament. How we talk about how good France's attack is. That's their midfield. I mean, you look at it, and Pedri is one of the best La Liga players. They could just like he's having an off game. All right, let's rotate him in for one of PSG's best midfielders in Fabian Ruiz. It's an embarrassment of riches. Very similar. They made France look like it was like the video of the two Japanese players with a ton of kids running around them, chasing them with the ball. I mean, it felt like that at the end. They just outsmarted and and their tactics were better. And this is something Argentina has yet to face. They've faced England, who on paper is a great team. I thought, it was a managerial disaster from Tuchel, but at the same time, I thought Scaloni out managed him. There was an expected lineup for a while before the match started, and Scaloni changed it last minute, which was something Henry and I were pounding our fist on, like, you have to start Nico Paz or Simeone, and he did. So again, Spain seems like the team that is mentally strong enough to overcome that. They are defensively a very sound team, whereas Argentina is going to go on attacking sprees if they do get the ball. And that's a big if because you're playing against Spain. They don't give that ball up often. But if they're able to create that attack, I think Spain is able to park a bus relatively well. Um, I do think Spain will win. I'll say 2-1. I think Lamine Yamal does score in this game, as insane as that sounds, because he has not had the best tournament. He's not even their best player. I think Pau Cubarsí has been one of the better players of the tournament, and he's been Spain's best young player. But I think he will score this tournament, and don't be surprised if Danny Olmo scores as well. He's been able to get into transition A few times against France, he was able to, hold the ball at midfield and get into transition really quickly. He's always very good for Spain. They have him as more of a false nine than they do his natural position with Barcelona, which is more of a cam, kind of can control the midfield. But I expect him to score as well. And that late game magic, I think Spain's able to counter it. Again, though, we're talking about the best player in the tournament, Lionel Messi, which is insane because a week ago I was like, the golden ball is going to go to Bellingham, Kane, or Mbappe. No, it's Messi now. I think it's a closed deal. I don't even think it's remotely close. What he did against England, first half it was okay. Then he had that one dribble on Kane. I think it was past Kane, and he got hit by Elliot Anderson and Jed Spence, who had a hell of a game. And that just unlocked the demon. That unlocked the demon you've seen for years from Messi in La Liga when you'd have Ramos chasing him down, Pepe chasing him down, slide tackling him, pulling him down. They tried doing that. He ripped through them, and it was vintage Messi. Watching him during the final 30 minutes of the game, that was vintage Messi, and he was serving up great balls. England was lucky they didn't concede 4 goals. Alexis McAllister, I'm glad that they won because he would have been he would have gotten a lot of flack for missing this too. But man, that attack at the end, can Spain win the mental game? And I think they can. They've beaten the tournament favorites, France. They've beaten a Portuguese side, which, as a United fan, I mean, you had the best player in the Prem, going into that tournament. And, obviously the Portuguese, can Roberto Martinez, they didn't go perform. It's Portugal. That's the point I'm trying to make. And they beat them. This is and then also Belgium, if you want to slide them in there, the only team they conceded to. They are battle tested. They are. Argentina is a different beast. They're way better than all those teams, but they have to win the mental battle. Again, Argentina has played this game and the past game. On paper, they're worse than, but it's the dying for the crest. It's just the culture of Argentina, besides the obvious cons. But they die for football. I mean, football is everything. It's life. It's a religion for them. Honestly, like you grew up in Argentina, and it's probably steak, religion, and then football. Like just all 3 of those are so important. You see it going back to the days of Maradona to Messi. It's the culture and how much pride they bleed the sport, and they bleed for their country. And you see that whenever they throw the kid on, and it feels like I would say Jordan Bulls, Mahomes Chiefs at some point, the Brady Patriots, where like you don't want to doubt them, especially late in games. Like you just you don't know what to do. I mean, Messi can just randomly pull it out of his hat. He can pull something out of his hat. He can pull a rabbit out of his hat in the last 20 minutes of the game. But again, so I am picking Spain, but I'm also making an argument as well for Argentina because you can't bet against them. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? It's like you can't. But I'm gonna say Spain 2-1. Golden Ball, Lionel Messi. Best young player, Pau Cubarsí, both players who are playing in the tournament. Rodri, again, one last shout out. Rodri, a lot of people didn't think he'd be the same player coming off his ACL. Athleticism-wise, he's not, but his game doesn't require that. He is the smartest player on that pitch. After Lionel Messi, he is the smartest player on that pitch. He knows every single dynamic of the game to a T. And I think you can make a very good argument he's Spain's best player as well. Will he get a golden ball? No. But, he's been a very crucial and impactful player along with the rest of their defenders. But it starts with him. He's the leader of that team. And I don't think the Argentinian midfield, even if they foul him too much, honestly, I don't think he can get into his head. And that's going to be the difference maker of the game. This doesn't change Messi's status either for this tournament. It was an incredible tournament from him. Even if he loses, I mean, even if you're a Messi hater, you still have to give him his flowers. I mean, what he did at 39 is incredible. So I'm going to leave it there.
And now we're back. Okay, so Henry.
Them Cronkite skills coming into work, bro.
Yes, sir. Cronkite skills coming to good use there. But
only 60K, right? Or 30K, I don't know.
Yeah. So This is a big game right here. Of course, the best team in South America, Copa America champions, and Argentina World Cup champions. And then you have the European champions in Spain who have been very dominant for a long time, and they are trying to capitalize on this moment and get their first World Cup since 2010 with this generation. Lamine Yamal is at the head of that, even though he might not have been having the best tournament so far. He's still a guy that can make the difference in any moment. And we've also seen in this tournament, Messi is still Messi, and he's doing his thing in this tournament. He's probably been the best player of the tournament. So there's a lot to really get into with this game. But Carlos, I'm going to let you have the floor here. What is your take on what is to come this Sunday in the World Cup final?
I think Sunday is the best storyline, Cinderella story that FIFA could have wanted. I mean, this obviously we love sports, but more than everything, we love the storylines of sports. And Sunday's game has just so many storylines that just makes this game just more intense and really important. Obviously, Messi is coming into his last World Cup, and now he's making it to the back-to-back World Cup finals, which hasn't been done in a while, I believe, a couple years. And can he go out as a two-time World Cup champion? Can he make that happen, or is Lamine Yamal and Spain gonna conquer the World Cup and be back as that top powerhouse nation that all of us remember seeing when we were younger. So I'm excited for Sunday. The storylines are great. I think this is what people wanted. Personally, I did want this matchup just because I'm a FC Barcelona fan. I'm a big Barca fan, and so seeing an idol that I grew up, watching for so many years in my childhood, now having this full road tour. But then we also have, and obviously he played in in Barcelona and Spain. But then we also have Lamine Yamal, who is considered this next superstar, going against Messi, going against a person who knows the philosophy of Spanish football and knows these players really well. So I got Spain in this game. Obviously, I got Spain winning the World Cup. So I'm just super excited for Sunday, and I think we're gonna get a really good, spectacular show. So may the best team win, but in my heart, I want Spain to win.
What do you think's made Spain so tough to break down? I think they've only conceded one goal this entire tournament, based on what Chris was saying. So they've obviously been a really solid defense and have a really solid midfield, and they make it work in their attack. What do you think makes them so tough to beat?
I think you mentioned it all. I think it's their midfield, their back line is just strong. You have players who definitely, go towards the ball. They don't break down. They have this great mentality. I know Kabarsi said in a press conference that, players like Mbappe don't scare him. And that's the mentality that you need. And it's insane for a 19-year-old to have this mentality of any player in the role I can defend and I can definitely, put my will against him. So it's players like, like him and Kukureya who have the heart, who really want it and have been showing up those big moments. So, and also to the goalkeeping, I think the goalkeeping was obviously very controversial at the start of the World Cup. Was it going to be Unai? Was it going to be Raya? Was it going to be Joan Garcia from FC Barcelona? And so I think the coach really made the a strong decision to sticking up with Unai Simon, and I think it's definitely worked out. So, but I think also too, I think there's a lot of unity in this team. This team really loves playing with each other, and they really do believe that they can, you know, go against any team and really, put their best foot forward and come up as champions. So I think it's a combination of everything, and obviously I think Spain hasn't lost a match in I don't know how many matches, maybe 20, 30 matches they haven't lost. So I think they do feel confident that they're going to be unbeaten on Sunday.
I agree. It's I think it's the exact final that I was hoping for going in. It was what the Finalissima was supposed to be, as you said. The champions of South America and Europe, and I think it's I think Messi, it's been said many times, but I think it's almost been understated how many people didn't expect this kind of performance that we've seen throughout this tournament. I think in any realistic scenario, he's going to win the gold ball at the end of the tournament. He played well during their last Copa America winning run. He was an important player, but not on this level. So this has just been a spectacular effort by a 39-year-old who's been in MLS for 3 years. I think another, under spoken about, storyline is Scaloni for Argentina. He came in when Messi had never won, a senior international trophy. I don't think the recognition is quite caught up to his accomplishments at this point. But if he is to win on Sunday, he has a very good case for the most accomplished international coach of all time. He'd be the second man to ever win 2 World Cups after going back to the 1930s. So, and he also learned under Spain's coach. That was, his tutor when he was going into coaching initially. So it's two teams with a lot of familiarity with each other. Obviously, Messi and Yamal played for Barcelona. Sort of his protege in a way. So I think storyline wise, it's an incredible final. It's also a final where, it's going to be common for people to count Argentina out because they didn't look as convincing in some of their early knockout games. But we saw that happen in many cases against England, and then we saw them do the same thing they've done all tournament, which is run into adversity, go down early, and then out of nowhere, they take control of the game and they have those moments of magic late. So we'll see what beats Scaloni's able to hit, what kind of lineup he comes out with in the final. But I think it's going to be a very, very exciting match that I think will be very closely contested.
Who do you think has the advantage in this matchup and why?
I think on paper you'd pick Spain. They have obviously Yamal is very young, but they've already won the Euros, as Carlos mentioned. They're on an incredibly long unbeaten run. Argentina the last couple of years, despite winning trophies, hasn't been quite as dominant as maybe they were in the past. So you would pick them on paper. Again, against France, I thought France had a good chance of winning that game, but I think they really had one clear chance of a goalkeeper error all game. So if I had to pick one side, I think it will be Spain, but it's not hard for me to imagine a very similar script where they go up 1 goal and then Argentina comes back with one late. And then, maybe we see a similar storyline. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be an incredible, incredible match.
I want to piggyback on you, Henry. I know Markos want to put in your point, but I think you mentioned a really good, important point. Like, how long is this magic of Argentina, making these magical runs is how long is it gonna last? Obviously, there's one match to go, and is this the final magic spell that they have in order to make it happen, or is Spain gonna really shut it down and be in control of this whole match and not let Argentina with these opportunities to score? So I'm excited to see that part of Argentina. I think they have to come out in this match aggressive from the start, from the beginning, just because they know that this Spain team can really, control the pace as they did with France. So yeah, I'm interested in seeing how Spain or Argentina can continue the magic.
Yeah, definitely. I'm also leaning Spain. I don't want to just pile on and, just make this the the Spain show here, but
It's
I
okay.
mean, Spain, man, they just look like they've been in control. They've always looked to be like a really good, well-rounded, experienced, balanced team even before they began winning trophies. So now I think they just see the World Cup and it's right there in their grasp and they just have to take it. I feel like a more composed team, a team that was more assured in their identity, would have taken care of Argentina the other day. But I look at England and they're a team going into the tournament with their first time with this manager who is so elite, but they still have the lack of continuity that affects them and maybe a questionable decision ultimately costs them. That's what most people would probably take away from that. But I think a team like Spain, and I reposted this on my Instagram because I was just frustrated watching this game the other day with the semifinal with England and Argentina because I feel like England just let up and took their foot off the rope. Whereas Spain, when they took their advantage against a team like France, who was so dangerous, they didn't let up and they continued to just show who they were, and they didn't show any sort of inferiority at all. They trusted and they believed, and then they added a second goal to put that into like a further advantage. I feel like Argentina's been able to capitalize in a lot of these games in the knockout stages by being down one goal. But when you go down two goals and when a team puts you away early, it's a lot harder to have that fight and that motivation to make things happen, especially when you can't even get control of the ball. Like Spain's midfield is ultimately like the difference in a lot of these games. And I don't know if Argentina quite has that ability to control a game with their midfield. They have some very talented players like McAllister from Liverpool, Enzo from Chelsea, and they have the continuity as well from last World Cup, winning that. But it's different with Spain. Like Spain is benching like a world-class midfielder right now in Pedri, and they're still making it work with the balance that they have in that area. They control the game and they funnel it to their attackers who may not be as prominent as some of these other teams, but they still get the job done with Oyarzabal and Olmo, and Yamal is always a threat even if he's not scoring. And Alex Baena on the other wing has been really good. Whereas in the Euros, it was Nico Williams, of course, being the star man and the star guy over there. So many options, a plethora of options for Spain. So I feel like ultimately this game is going to be won in the midfield, and I think that's where Spain has the edge there. At the same time, too, like they don't concede a lot of goals or a lot of chances unless it's off of a mistake. So I don't think that Argentina is going to be able to, unless there's a flurry of chances at the end, as there was against England. I don't think Argentina is going to have much of a control in this game. So I find it hard to believe that they'll be able to make something happen. But at the end of the day, they still have Messi, and that's a very hard guy to figure out. He is a guy in himself that can just break a game and be that game breaker. And I think that's a challenge that Spain have yet to see. So it's going to be very interesting. And I've found myself doubting Argentina before, and it's obviously not gone in my favor. So when I look at this game, I do really feel comfortable in picking Spain, but at the same time, if Spain does go down early, like Carlos kind of hinted at, that's entirely different circumstance for them to go into, and that changes their philosophy entirely. So that's going to test them in so many different ways because you're not only down 1-0, but you're down 1-0 to the defending World Cup champions. That's a daunting thing. So it's going to be a lot on the line. Obviously, Messi in his third World Cup final, a chance to go back to back. It's going to be a big game with two big teams, two of the best teams in the world. I don't think anyone can argue with that. So I'm really happy with this final. I feel very comfortable picking Spain, as I said, but if Argentina takes a lead early and they capitalize off of a chance that they do have, maybe some Messi magic, maybe someone else comes to play and makes something happen, then I think this is an entirely different game than what I'm imagining. But what I'm thinking it's going to go down right now is I think Spain takes control of this game from jump start, and they capitalize on the chances that they're able to create, and then they take control and put the game away. I feel like it's going to be a similar game script to France, although Argentina I feel like can throw a little bit more of an array of dilemmas for Spain. So my prediction is like a 2-1 Spain win. I think it's going to be really tightly contested, or I could even see a 1-0 game too.
What about penalties?
Man, I think okay, we were talking about that earlier too with Chris, man. Like if it goes to penalties, then I'm 100% picking Argentina because like man, I mean obviously the World Cup final was in penalties. Like there's no bigger moment than that.
Right.
Dibu Martinez, man, that's one of the best goalkeepers in the world that you can have in that situation. You're not gonna find a better goalkeeper in that situation to thrive in. I think as good as Unai Simon is, and he's been in penalty kicks before. It's different when you're going up against a guy like Messi, who I mean, he's missed a penalty kick in a game in the knockouts, but still, like it's Messi. You know, at the end of the day, it's going to be very tough in that environment to. I think especially when you're the favorite, like Spain are. Once you get to that point, you already feel like you've lost in a way, mentally. And I think we talked about it again with Chris, like. They're kind of like mentality monsters in the way like they foul you, they nick you up, they get in your head. um, and they continue to just wear you down, and then physically they'll do the same thing, and that takes a toll on you. And I think if it goes to penalties, Argentina and Martinez, bro, like he is known for his antics, and he will get in their heads. Um, and in that situation, I do think Argentina is going to win, but
Yeah.
they're not playing for penalties, of course. They're playing to win it, but I just feel like the control of the game is going to be a big thing. I don't think it's going to be an open game. I don't think it's going to be a game where tactics is going to be like a self-inflicted thing for Spain. Like they know what they're doing. De La Fuente is a very experienced manager in this situation, and he's led a successful side for many games. So
Mm.
it's different when you're going up against the World Cup champions. With the way Argentina play, it's going to be tough, but I'm thinking it's going to be tightly contested. I just feel like Spain have a little bit too much for Argentina. I could easily regret that though. So
I'm going to slightly change my prediction just to go through it. I'm going to say officially, Spain scores the first goal. Argentina gets one late in regulation, and
Oh
then they
man.
do it in penalties. And beyond that, I think Messi will be back for Copa America in 2028,
Yeah.
and
Got the script.
maybe the next World Cup.
mm,
That's my prediction. But we will see. Long way to go for all those things to happen.
All
yeah.
right.
I mean, I think especially if he loses in the World Cup final, he'll be back for sure. Um, but I mean, we've seen him retire from international before, right? So like he could pull the switcheroo on us. We don't know. So yeah, that'll be super tough if Messi loses. Like, I mean, Argentina's obviously got a lot of flack for a lot of things in this World Cup, but Messi, I want to see him go out on top. So I'm not picking for that to happen, but I wouldn't be mad with either outcome, honestly. Like you have the next guy up, sort of passing of the throne moment, or you
Right.
have the king sort of winning again. Like I watch WWE, so it's kind of like the Rock versus John Cena sort of thing. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a once in a lifetime matchup we're getting. These two teams, Messi and Yamal, haven't played each other. Obviously, the Henry mentioned the Finalissima that was meant to happen in the spring got canceled because of political conflicts, but this is a match that's probably not going to happen again. So, I mean, it's going to be a sensational game. I hope. I hope it's not anything like out of the ordinary, like a Germany 7-1 sort of game. You know what I mean? Like, I hope it's nothing crazy like that. I'm hoping it's just tightly contested versus two really good teams, tactical masterclass between two really good managers, and then obviously a show put on by all the world class talent on the field. So I'm excited for either outcome, but I think we all agree right now. Well, except for Henry, he backed out on his take, but I think we can all agree though it's going to be a good game.
Absolutely, very
Yeah,
excited.
yeah. Any other takes? Any other things you want to say before we sign out here?
Um, I think just the whole tournament itself has been great. It's been entertaining. It's been it's been fun. You know, it's it's just been well, I think and I was talking to this with my partner, but how the World Cup 4 years ago to 4 years now, in terms of the digital age, is just insane. I feel like now we are really, I mean, we've been in it, but I feel like now more than ever, it's been confirmed that we are in the digital age, and the digital age is here to stay. And the World Cup really showed that with how, the Norway fans were celebrating, and how Mexican fans were celebrating, and how we were able to connect with all these different, countries through, a click or a tap. And it was just so fun how to see, seeing diverse cultures coming together. So. I thought it was a great, I mean, it's not over yet, but it's been a great World Cup, and I was happy for, the United States to host it and have it here close to us. And I feel like this World Cup has given people a different perspective of the sport, and I hope it can definitely, bring momentum for going forward. I have yet to go on to indoor soccer yet, but I feel like after watching the World Cup, I feel like I can, break some ankles and, use the moves that I learned on TV in person. So. That's a joke, obviously. But no, it's been great, and I'm just I've been entertained, and I'm just sad it's over, but it's also very happy for what's to come after this.
No, I mean, I'm sure Henry probably feels like he could dribble three players like Messi did the other day.
Yeah, no, I've been holding back a little. I haven't played since last year, but it's
No, but yeah, I fully agree with you though, Carlos. I mean, I remember back in 2018 when this World Cup was announced, like I was like, okay, I'm definitely 2026, like I'm definitely gonna get tickets. I'm definitely gonna go to one of these games. And even though that didn't actually happen, I feel like I was so close to everything that was going on in this World Cup. And I was never in one of the cities that the games were being played in either. Like I was pretty far away from a lot of the action, but I felt so close at the same time because of everything that I was seeing with how all these fans connected and took over different areas, going to bars and restaurants, and you're seeing the community, you're seeing the unity, the togetherness, people just coming together for this 1 month for the special occasion, and they're showing America what it's all about. So when you look at, I just did a story on this too for my company, but when you look at like the growth of soccer in the United States, like this is a turning point for that as well, because we saw what people can do, how people can gravitate towards a single sport, and I think that's a very special thing, which wasn't a thing that was happening in the past. The digital age, for sure, that's a massive point I would agree with as well. So, Henry, any other closing thoughts?
I absolutely agree with everything that you guys said, and I'm excited to see how it finishes off on Sunday. That's all I've got.
That's it.
Yeah.
Love that,
No,
Henry.
I'm just kidding. No,
Straight
you're
to
good.
business.
Hey man, last thing though, I do appreciate you guys coming on and sharing in this with me as well. Like I always love talking soccer with my friends, and just having you guys on. Very enjoyable time to just kick back and share our thoughts together. So I've enjoyed this last month of doing that as well. So just wanted to say
Yeah,
that
thank you,
too.
Markos.
Yeah, of
Appreciate it.
course.
Very nice.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it too.
Of course. Well, signing out, Finale Pod. We'll see you guys next time.
All right.
Peace.
Thanks.
See you guys.